Hello friend, welcome back. Today now we'll review the replication overview. So the replication is a feature allowing the content of one or more server called master to be mirrored on one or more server called slabs. Okay. So why do we use it? It's for scalability, data analysis, backup assistant, distribution of our data. And this is the common replication setup where you have a MariaDB master, and then you have a MariaDB slab, MariaDB slave, and from slave and you can go. So this is the ring application, whereas like MariaDB. Okay, so you have to follow this arrow, and then the data from here it gets updated in this from green to red, red to blue, blue to violet, and from the violet to orange. Okay, the star application is that okay. It's a bidirectional and everything is happening, and then you have a multi-source replication. So from data comes from here, and then it goes to there. Okay, so the next topic is like what are the replication commands. This is the change master to start slave, stop slave, reset slave, set global SQL slave, skip counter, so relay log event, so slave status, so master status, so slaves host, reset master. Okay, these are your common replication command. How do you set up a replication? So first you need to configure your master. You configure okay, so this is an example. You have a log main server id log base name master1 binary log format mixed, and then you create a user and grant a replication slave permissions, and okay, then you how do you configure your slave? So you go to the source status. Okay, this is your this thing. Then you start the slave. So you have to change the master. You have to give the host name master name, and then you have to start the slave. So basically what is happening, the replication is happening based on the binary log file. Okay, so you need to understand that first. Okay, now moving back to how do you set up a replication with a Maria backup? Okay, so Maria backup makes it very easy to set up a replication slave using the full backup. Okay, so how do you do it? So you first back up the database, Maria backup, target, use username, and then you have additional options. Then you backup it. Either you back like this, or then you prepare your backup to be replicated. Then you copy the backup to the new slave, and then you use the resync command like this. And then once you do this, then you have to restore it. Okay, Maria backup. So basically what this resync command does, it actually catalog your backup pieces, and then you using the Maria backup command to copy back to the target directory. So basically your data files are basically in the MariaDB. Your data files are basically the set of files, and you do it. Okay, then create a replication user on the master. So you create a replication user, you grant it replication slave, and then you configure the new slave, and you started the replication. So you do this like way. So at the master level you set global grid slave position is this, and then change master to this. So you provide the additional detail, and then you provide the additional additional details, and then you started this way. Okay, so you can also have a read only slave. How do you do that? So a common application is to have the slaves read only to ensure that no one accidentally updates them. If the slave has a binary logging label and the grid strict mode is used, then any update that causes a change of binary will stop replication. Okay, so when the variable read only is set to 1, no updates are permitted except from the user with super privilege or slave servers updating from a master. Okay, so how do you do it? This is the old version. So you have to set a certain parameters. Read underscore variable to 1. So the only update that comes from the master will get updated, not for this thing. So you can also use the replication as a backup solutions. And okay, then how do you do a multi-source? So you have a master 1, master 2. It goes to, so basically the MariaDB hosted on a blue and MariaDB hosted on a red. In a green gets onto the orange, and then from orange you make a copy. So there are certain syntax and the certain variables that you need to set it up, and you have to follow this document. How do you set it up? And you do it with the help of this document. Okay, so what is the replication thread? The term master understood. Okay, the MariaDB replication requires several types of threads. Thread on the master. The master usually has one type of replication related thread, the binary log dump thread. Okay, And then there is an option how this thread works and the shutdown process. Then you have an acknowledge receiver thread. So basically threads are the set of the process which performs the functions in and out. Okay, save IO thread, binary log position, slave SQL thread. So relay log, binary log position, okay, worker threads. What is the global transaction ID? Okay, uh, so let's look for the definition. So let's overview MariaDB application in general work as follows. On a master server, all updates to the database, DML and DDL, are written to the binary log as a binlog events. A slave server connects to the master and reads the binlog events, then applies the event locally to replicate the same changes as done on the master. A server can be both a master and a slave at the same time, and it is thus possible for binlog event to replicate it through multiple level of servers. A slave server keeps track of the position in the master binlog of the last event applied on the slave. This allows the slave server to reconnect and resume from where it left off and replication has been temporarily stopped. It also allows a slave to disconnect, be cloned, and then have the new slave resume replication from the same master. Global Transaction ID introduces a new event attached to each event group in the binlog. An event group is a collection of events that are always applied as a unit. They are best thought of as a transactions, though they also include non-transactional DML statements as well as DDL. As an event group is replicated from a master server to slave server, the global transaction ID is preserved. Since the ID is globally unique across the entire group of servers, this makes it easy to uniquely identify the same binlog events on a different server that replicate each other. So basically, like global transaction ID attached to all binlog event so that the master and slips able to identify which transactions needs to which transaction needs to replicate it. So what are the benefits? Easy to change, and the state of the slave is recorded in a class wise. And then this is the implementation plan. How do you do it? A global transaction ID for short consists of three numbers separated by the, for example, 0, 1, 0. The first 0 is the domain, the second is the server ID, the third is the sequence number. Okay, using global ID. So there is a further detail about this global ID, and you can just go through it. And okay, let's move to what is the parallel replication. So MariaDB replication can take place in three parts. Replication events are read from the master by the IO thread and queried into the relay log. Replication events are fetched one at a time by the SQL thread from the relay log. Each event is applied to the slave in a replicated all the master. Okay, so if you read all those things parallelly, it is called a parallel replication. The third step was always performed by the SQL thread. This means that only one event can execute at a time, and replication was essentially single threaded. Since MariaDB 10, the third step can be optionally perform a pool of separate replication worker threads and thereby potentially increase replication performance by applying multiple events in parallel. So each event is applied to the slave on the slave to replicate all changes done by the master. So this can be done by parallelly. How do you enable the parallel thread? So you have a parameter slave parallel thread and you set up the value to this and you enable the parallel mode. Okay, then there are further details which you can go and understand more in depth. Okay, these are the variables for replication on the binary log, which is like auto increment offset, binlog annotate, binlog cache size, binlog checksum, binlog commit weight, and you go like this way. Okay, so you can additionally read about these variables based on the once you configure. Okay, then there is a status variable. So these are the additional status variable. You can check the replication status. So once you go for a configuration, you can definitely work on it to look for. Okay, and this we don't need it. An unsafe statement for a statement based replication. So these following are regarded as unsafe. Insert on duplicate, insert delayed, insert update. So there are certain queries which are marked as a unsafe. Okay, so it means not recommended. Safe is like, okay, not deterministic, but are considered safe for binary logging and listing. Okay, replication and a foreign key. So you create your table employee x int name varchar engine is enodb, create table children y int is the primary, f int name varchar, So the name which is here is acting as a foreign key reference employees X. Okay, so basically this X int is acting as a foreign key in this children table. Okay, engine is equal to on delete cascade. So basically what does it mean? Cascade means like if your object has certain data and if you want to delete that object end to end, you have to use cascade. So in that it will delete everything. If you don't do it, it will just remove the reference of the object, but it won't delete it, and your files still remain on the disk. Okay, insert into children values. So here you are entering 1 in Yasha, 2 prone 1 1 and 2 1. Okay, at this point the slave and masters are synced. Okay, however after delete from employee where x is equal to 1, there are different. Okay, on the master you get it 3, on the slave you get it 1 2 3. The cascading delete does not take effect. Okay, replication is based on the binary log. However, cascading deletes or update based on the foreign key relations are on an internal and not into the binary log. Because of this, an identical statement run a master different outcome. If the foreign key is not equal and both master and slave, this could be the cause. Okay, so what it means like cascade, if I'm doing something on the primary, the things got logged, event got logged into the binary log file, but while it got replicated to the slave, those event could not get replicated because cascade is not getting logged in the event log file. So what is the relay log file? So relay log files are your replication log files, and okay, the relay set of log files created by replicator during the replay. It is the same format as the binary log, containing a record of event that affect the data or the structure. Thus, MySQL bin log can be used to display its contents. It consists of a set of the relay log files and index file. Okay. Enhancement of a string with consistent snapshot. Okay, transaction 1 begin set at t is equal to now update x table underscore table set a is equal to add t where id is equal to 5. Update pdx underscore table set b is equal to add t where id is equal to 5 commit. Now you go to the transaction 2 where you do set transaction isolation label repeatable read start transaction with consistent snapshot select t1.a t2.b from extract underscore table t1 inner join pb text underscore t2 on this. Okay, status variable, you can use a MySQL dump to use this status variable. Okay, group commit for the binary log. The server supports group commit. This is an important optimizer that helps MariaDB reduce the number of expensive disk options that are performed durability. And then there are okay. Now let's move to sleep. So you can also have an option to skip certain aspects while replicating the bin log event. So scope session only, access type dynamic, data bull, slave option is scope global, special dynamic, event type replicate, full filter on slave, and then you can use this skip replication or SQL log bin combination to set certain events not to be logged. So how do you enable the bin log event checksum? You have to have this command variables enabled master verify checksum and a slave SQL verify checksum, and then the system will automatically do it. And what is the interoperability? Okay, so this particular feature has a table where it has some interoperability between the different version of master and a slave, different version of a MariaDB based on the master and the slave. Anode raw glowin. Okay, so these variables describe the query which caused the row event. Okay, so this is an example. And if it is enabled, so I am dropping a table, dropping a database, then I creating a database, create database, use this. So basically I am setting the variable for the database, then I am creating a table t1, I am inserting a value, then I am creating a table t2, inserting a value, creating a table 3 and then insert delete into this thing and delete this thing. Okay, so basically if it is enabled and if I query my bin log, I can see all these options. Okay. Now row based application with no primary key. MariaDB improves on a robust application of tables which has no primary key but do have some other indexes. This is based in a part of the original Pericona patch. When row based application uses with update or delete, the slave needs to locate each replicated row based on the volumes in the column. If the table contain at least one index, an index lookup will be used, which is extremely inefficient for all. Okay, so the MariaDB, the slave will try to choose a good index among any variable. The primary key is used if there is a one, as the first unique key index. So the thing is, like, what it mean to say that you can have a row based application with no primary keys, but instead internally the slave will try to make one of the value which it find out of the three conditions to make it index and then replicate based on that. Okay, so you can have a replication filter. How do you do it? You put it will log underscore do db1 and then this parameter, then you have a ignore one and rewrite db, and these there are additional. How do you do it? You are stopping the slave, you are actually setting the parameter at the global level, then you are starting the slave. Okay, so you set your replication table like this. Now, and how do you run the trigger on the slave for row based event? So trigger is an event which runs automatically based on the certain conditions. So this is the way you have to enable slave run trigger for RBR variable, and these are the additional options. So if it is enabled, it will work accordingly. Semi-synchronous replication. Standard MariaDB is asynchronous, but MariaDB also provide a semi-synchronous. With regular asynchronous replication, slave request events from the master binary log whenever the slaves are ready. The master does not wait for a slave to confirm that the event has been received. With fully synchronous replication, all slaves are required to respond that they have received the event. Semi-synchronous replication waits for just one slave to acknowledge that it has received and logged the events. Semi-synchronous replication therefore comes with some negative performance impact, but increased data integrity since the delay is based on the round-trip time to the slave and back. This delay is minimized for server to in close proximity over a vast network. So how do you do it? You have to install the plugin, install soname semi-sync master and semi-sync slave, and then you can also, how do you enable it? Once your plugins are installed, you set a global parameter RPL underscore semi underscore sync underscore master underscore enabled on, and then so this is at the master level. And how do you set it at the slave level? It's like set global replication semi sync slave enabled on the this thing. Okay, then you can also put the timeout options for this at 2000, and you have additional options for wait point and all, and one can follow go through the, and there are additional options, in which you can also enable the dress and everything. So okay, now comes how do you use a MariaDB replication with MariaDB Glera cluster. Okay, let's first cover this compression events to reduce the size of the binary log file. So you can actually use the log bin compress. It will compress and reduces. You can also delay the replications by sending change master to master delay, sending this parameter to 3600. So how do you do the replication when the master and the slave has a different table definition? So when while replication is usually meant to take place between a master slave with the same table definition, and this is recommended. In certain cases, replication can still take place even if the definitions are identical. Table on the slave and the master do not need to have the same definition in order for replication to take place. There can be a differing number of columns or different data definition. So this is the statement based replication describe R IDV, and okay, so the statement insert into R value 6 high, insert into R value this, then this is the row based replication field ID. Then okay, so you can actually do it, so master create or replace table R I slave alter table I add int. Okay, so the thing is like okay, you can do it and just follow it, and this is allowed, but it's not recommended. Restricting speed of reading binlog from master by a slave. You can have this parameter set it up read binlog speed limit, and this can reduce the load by limiting the way speed. Okay, so can you make the slave to become a master? Yes. So how do you do it? You stop the original master, you manually take down the master flush table with read log, then you show master status, and then you say slow preparing the slave to be master. So basically stop all slave, reset slave all, show master status, select this G global GTID bin log set global, then reconnect another slaves to the new master. Stop slave, change master to master, master port, master use JID, then you start the slave, changing the old master to be a slave, then you do a further configuration, and then you move a application to use the new this thing. Okay, application with a secure connection, so you can enable the SSL, basically TLS, and then uh, okay, see, enabling two-way TLS with the change master. You stop the slave, you change, you give this a cert key and CA part, and then you start the slave. And then again you do these changes. You have to follow this document, and it is it is possible. And the thing is, like, you have to put this certificate values into the configuration file, and this way it will work. So let me close few of the tab which we have already completed, and let's go to okay, let's go to the main table, and let's get back here, and we were to review the Galera cluster. Okay, okay, yeah, let's review this. So what is the Galera cluster? So Galera cluster is the cluster, MySQL clusters are called Galera cluster. Okay, so there is an option using MariaDB replication with the MariaDB Galera cluster. Configure a cluster node as a replication master. Then you configure a cluster node as a replication slave, and then you setting the server IDs on the cluster node, setting a different server ID on each cluster node. Okay, you do it using MariaDB global transaction ID with the MariaDB GD support for write. Okay, enabling WS wrap GTID mode. Okay, so you have to follow, you have to enable this thing. So just you need to know that this is possible, and there is an option, there is a document based on this. You have to set the environment variables, and then you have to uh, basically replicate and make it happen. So we have to follow the basic, and then based on the clusters you have to just start those services. Okay, so that's not something okay. So I think that's all on the replication side, and let's go to the MariaDB this thing, and high availability MariaDB optimizes and tuning. And in the next video we would like to cover all the remaining one, and then we are good with the MariaDB document. And we'll also review one document for one book with 100 page in a fast way, and we'll see you next.